Welcome, one-armed barkeeps to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews for the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And we continue our look at heist movies for what I'm assuming is just the remainder of August. I've lost track. So tonight we are looking at the other Steven Soderbergh heist film, Logan Lucky.
Yes, the not Ocean's version.
Yes. Ocean 7-Eleven is what I believe they called it.
Yes.
Yeah, so you had seen this before. I hadn't.
Yeah, I saw this one in theaters because I'd heard Steven Soderbergh and I've heard good reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and, bearing the lead, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm really impressed with how well he puts together a cast, especially an ensemble cast. This is a really good. I mean, it's the entire lead cast is fantastic. I really like Channing Tatum in this. I liked Adam Driver in this. I loved Daniel Craig.
How amazing was that accent of his?
Well, the funny thing is that when you think about it, it's really not that far off, especially because, I've seen the Knives Out movies. I've seen how good he is at just accents in general.
Yeah. But, I mean, actually, not only his accent, but Brian Gleason.
Yeah.
He pulls off a really, really good Southern accent.
Right, and Jack Quaid.
Is Jack Quaid English?
No.
Oh.
He's an American. He's Meg Ryan's son.
Oh, yeah. And he's also the current voice of Superman on My Adventures with Superman.
Ah, okay. Yeah, he's also on The Boys. But, overall, this was fun. I enjoyed because, watching the movie and having to, pause for whatever reason or another and seeing how much time is left in the movie. It's like, oh, okay, we're going to get the twist. We're going to get the twist. We're going to get the twist.
Yeah, they hold off on the twist a pretty good time.
Oh yeah, no, that is the mark of a patient person.
Yeah.
To not give it away.
Yeah. I mean, for the longest time, they went through all this. They went through the heist. They got all the money, and then he just gave the money back.
Right.
Wait, what?
Right.
And then twist.
Well, I like that though. I like that they really painted Channing Tatum as being kind of like, he's always had these grand ideas of robbing a bank and, doing a crime, but maybe his heart really wasn't in it.
Mm.
So to have the whole thing worked out with, with everybody, I thought really, really worked well. It was funny because when I was watching it and they showed the warden, I'm like, who the hell is that? That guy looks really familiar. It's Dwight Yoakam.
Yes. A country singer who, even when I was into country, did not care for Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah.
He was a little bit too old school country for my taste.
Oh, yeah, no, he's definitely more of a honky-tonk style of country singer. It is funny, though, because I knew the whole reason for the hat was because he had gone bald very early in his life.
Yeah.
So that's why he always had the big hats on. And then when he showed up in Sling Blade, he was just like, yep, nope, I'm bald. Here's my porch band.
What I love about this movie, though, is that, if you just watch the trailer, it makes it think that the whole thing is going to be kind of a comedy.
Yeah.
And really, Channing Tatum was probably the least funny person in this cast.
Considering how funny he is proven to be.
Yeah.
On many an occasion, absolutely.
It was mainly Joe Bang's brothers. They were hilarious.
Yeah.
And the whole prison riot thing, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was great. I'm sorry, but we cannot get you the winds of winter.
Now, I know that's not true because he said 2 years ago he was writing it.
The funny thing is that we watched a video a couple of nights ago about what is going on with the winds of winter. He's going to be
around 2017.
Yeah. Yeah. He is going to be dead by the time they finally release that book, and they're just going to have to, do the same thing that Brian Herbert did with his Old Man stuff, is just cull it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cast in and of itself was interesting. I mean, there were times when Adam Driver's accent was kind of like all over the place.
He was much more soft spoken,
Yeah,
and so that kind of threw it off a little bit. And I will say, like, I like Hilary Swank. You didn't need her in this movie.
well, she's barely in the movie too. She shows up in like the last like
She was solely
15 minutes
there.
of the movie.
Yeah, she was solely there to set up a possible sequel.
Right.
That's it.
And that was a little silly. I mean, this movie is definitely. I mean, if I have to say it, it is a step down from Ocean's 11, and a lot of that's just because there are a lot more moving parts to Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
And the complexity of the heist versus get in under the stadium and vacuum out all the cash. It was clever though that they had that they disabled all the credit card machines.
Yes.
Which would have doomed me because I never carry cash on me.
I occasionally carry cash.
Yeah, but
usually not a whole lot. But
yeah,
I now even like 7 years ago, it's still really too many people carry cash.
Yeah, no, but it is it was. I'm sure the ATM's working just fine though.
Yeah,
there's always an ATM at those places, but it was interesting. I honestly. If I had one complaint about this movie is I just did not know where they were going with the whole Seth MacFarlane thing.
Yeah, that was a part that you didn't really need.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe like the first time just to show like the how close the brothers are and kind of give hint at Adam Driver's backstory without actually just coming right out and saying it.
Right. Yeah, I can understand that. But his constant presence in the movie, which is only there to kind of give Sebastian Stan an off-screen redemption.
Yeah. that was kind of clever. It's like, yeah, we already talked to you, Driver. He said he had no idea what you're talking about. And so this guy that you got into a fight with a couple weeks ago, he just happened to be there, and he was part of this robbery. Okay, sure. But yeah, you didn't really need him to come back except that you had Seth MacFarlane.
Right, exactly. Doing a British accent, and it's one of those things at first because he had the wig and the mustache. And I'm like, who is that? And then all I had to do was wait 5 more seconds, and then I could, hear Brian the talking dog.
Yeah, when I first saw this movie, I do remember having absolutely no idea who that was. I didn't know it until the final credits. Like, oh, Seth MacFarlane. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
There are definitely more moving parts in Ocean's 11, and the dialogue is a little bit more, back and forth witty.
It's a little wittier. There's also a lot too. I mean, I think pacing wise, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed this movie, but I feel pacing wise, a lot of the, the subterfuge of getting them out of the prison and then bringing them back in. That took a long time to do. I will say, however, I love the bit where Joe's trying to make the explosive, and he's like, "Why didn't that work?" Oh, twisted it too many times.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite lines. It was in the trailer, but it's still a really good line. It's like, is it 20 or is it 30? We are dealing with science here.
Yeah, that's my dehumidifier.
Oh.
Just let me know it's full. Yeah, no, I did enjoy this movie a lot. I don't know if I would go back to it the same way I would like an Ocean's 11.
No, I would agree with that. Ocean's 11 I can watch anytime it's on.
Right.
This one I very happily put on maybe once a year, maybe twice a year.
Hmm?
It's still a very fun watch. I mean, this was Soderbergh's first movie after his retirement.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I guess like Behind the Candelabra was supposed to be his last movie, and but
Oh, I
then like
forgot he directed that.
I guess that someone gave him this script asking just, do you know anybody that would be willing to direct
Hmm.
this? He just read over the script and he had like, this is a fun script. I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was fun. It definitely, it definitely, you have to put yourself in the right mindset to watch it. It doesn't have like that ease and grace that Ocean's 11 has.
No.
Mainly because some of the guys that get involved in this thing are dumber than dirt. The other Fish brothers, or
Yeah.
the Bang brothers, sorry,
Yeah.
are
Fish Bang and Sam Bang.
right. Yeah, yeah, the Bang Bros and their Bang Bus.
And their morality.
Right.
Well, because he did that thing to your sister back then, we're willing to do it. By the way, Riley Keough, I thought
Yeah.
she was fantastic in this movie.
Yeah, she was really good. I was a little confused at first about what her relationship was to them, because it was like, is she their sister or is she his former sister-in-law? Because she looks an awful lot like Katie Holmes.
Yeah, but no, she is the Logan's. She was a Logan sister.
Yeah.
And Channing Tatum's relationship with his daughter,
Yeah.
that was beautiful. I thought that was fantastic.
That was really sweet. And it's interesting because I've really come around on Channing Tatum in the last few years, because he's untapped comic gold.
Yeah.
Which is funny in this movie because they don't really let him be funny.
No.
The way that they let, Daniel Craig be funny.
Yeah, he's pretty much the straight man in this movie.
Yeah.
He's the emotional core, but he's also the straight man.
Right.
But yeah, the comedic relief was definitely the Bang brothers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. But yeah, it was also nice too. Just I enjoy seeing Daniel Craig do stuff when he's in, when he was in between Bond films.
Yeah. This was 2017, so
Spectre had come out 2 years before.
Okay. So it was,
and it would be another. Well, technically, I think Tomorrow Never Dies. Not Tomorrow Never Dies. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one I'm forgetting right now. Yeah.
I'm just pulling up his.
That was, I think, supposed to come out in late 2019. And then got massively delayed.
This was actually 2 years before Knives Out.
Right.
And then it was 4 years before No Time to Die.
No Time to Die. Okay, I knew Die was in the title somewhere. Yeah, but even No Time to Die was a late release. It was originally, I think, supposed to be 2019, and then got pushed back further into the 2020 schedule, and then got completely postponed for the pandemic.
Yeah. And for as small as a role she has in this one, I really like Catherine Waterston.
Yeah.
This was, I want to say, this was right after Prometheus. No, it was actually the same year as Alien Covenant.
Oh yeah, 2017.
Which was an awful movie, and I regret ever seeing it.
I still want to see Romulus, but
I don't care anymore. I saw Prometheus and Alien Covenant in theaters, and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. From everything I've heard, it's back to the drawing board, but
yeah, I've heard that too. But it's the same reason why I've never seen Bumblebee. For it's a really good movie. I saw 1, 2, and 3 all in theaters. I don't care anymore.
Yep. No, Bumblebee is excellent. So you're just doing yourself a disservice.
I know.
It's like avoiding like the new like Mutant Mayhem Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because those terrible live action remakes that they did.
I blame it all on Michael Bay.
Yeah, that's yeah.
He killed my love for a franchise I've loved since I was 12.
Yeah, and then Ridley Scott did the same thing to this franchise he created.
Yeah.
But with this one, I mean, I would love to see Steven Soderbergh do more heist movies. I mean, I feel like we've definitely moved away from that era.
Yeah.
Ocean's 8, which is a good movie, it didn't really make the impact that I think it kind of needed to. But again, I think it was branded with that Girls Busters type of stigma, which ain't great because I think both those movies are actually pretty decent movies. But we've moved on, especially we're not going to see Joe Bang again because we've got Benoit Blanc now.
Yeah, and also this movie did not do great.
No, it didn't.
It was a budget of I think 29 million.
Yep.
Box office of 48.5.
Right. It just honestly, I didn't know what this movie was about until. I mean, realistically, until I started watching it, I still didn't really know what it was about.
Yeah.
Which it also. There were so many movies that came out about cars around that time. We had Ford versus Ferrari. We had Rush. We had all these other movies that were coming out around that time. It's easy to get, clogged up. Not to mention, we had Baby Driver around the same time as well. So there's a lot of that stuff. And Baby Driver is essentially a heist movie as well, with an amazing soundtrack and probably the most problematic cast ever. But
yeah. One thing I've actually heard as like a criticism of Ocean's 13, which I love Ocean's 13.
Yeah.
But I heard like some reviewers say that they really enjoyed it, but they felt there was a distinct lack of twist in it because like they pretty much, all right, this is what we're gonna do, and this is what happens.
Yep.
That's.
No, go ahead.
Well, that's what's great about this movie is that, it seems like it's going to be the same thing until you get to the very end where it's like, oh, no, there is a big twist here.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what I'm curious about is how much money do you think that do they actually say how much money they took?
They took where?
Oh, just in terms of what they end up stealing.
No, they don't because, they made a point to saying like, and with all the things that were going on, we didn't have an exact amount of how much was going to be there.
Right.
My guess would be, I probably went with 160 because we just watched Ocean's 11 that someone just told. But I was thinking maybe 160, and then they returned 100, and they kept 60. Because
million,
huh?
Million?
Yeah. Because I mean, the racetrack said that they had nice insurance payoff, so I think as long as they got most of the money back, and then they got a nice insurance payoff, they don't care.
Okay, it's for me, it's kind of tough to just wrap my head around, only because we're talking small dollar transactions.
Yeah.
So, well, then again, it's a concession stand, so those are probably $7 Cokes.
Yeah, and it was also one of the biggest races of the year in NASCAR.
Right.
Coca-Cola 500.
Which I don't.
I don't either, but I mentioned it to my coworker Rui, and he is a NASCAR fanatic, so he knew. So I mentioned, they went to the Charlotte Motor Speedway to steal it during the biggest race of the year. He's like, oh, Coca-Cola 500. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Good.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, overall, again, I enjoyed this movie a lot. I was going to say earlier, I haven't actually watched Ocean's 13 since we saw it in the theater.
That is one I do really enjoy, especially after coming off of 12.
Yeah, 12 was just 12 was a huge letdown, and we saw that in the theater too.
Yeah.
But tis what tis.
Yep.
But yeah. I mean, I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to add about Logan Lucky? This is your pick, so I want to make sure I'm hitting all the.
Soundtrack is good. Not quite as good as Ocean's 11.
Oh yeah,
but I think it still fits the movie very nicely.
Yeah, I think it
And
definitely it fits the tone of the movie, and utilizing "Take Me Home, Country Roads."
yeah, and I also do love the fact that uh, Riley Keough's character was just kind of like needling her kind of brother-in-law
Yeah,
or ex-brother-in-law or something like that about like, oh, it's too bad you can't drive a stick. I can totally drive a stick. And she was just doing that just so she could get the car and drive and
yeah,
kick up the speed.
yeah. That guy played Andy on The Office, and it's always like he definitely looks like a Chris Pratt type.
Yeah, the pudgy Chris Pratt type.
Yeah, pudgy Chris Pratt. Well, Chris Pratt after before Guardians, Chris Pratt. It's interesting too. Speaking of that NBC lineup, because Jerry from Parks and Rec was in there as well. Jim O'Hurley.
Oh yeah. He was his
foreman.
boss that had to fire him, right?
Yeah. But it's I enjoyed this a lot. I would definitely recommend this to somebody.
Yeah, and I'm glad you watched it because
thank you.
I don't think this movie got nearly enough love. It just came out at the wrong time. Didn't have like quite the advertising, so yeah, nobody really went to see it. And I think it was released over Labor Day weekend, and it was like one of the lowest grossing Labor Day weekends to that point.
Yeah. I mean, it was also, like we were saving our pennies because, we had, we had Ragnarok coming up. We had Last Jedi coming out. We had plenty of stuff coming out, Spent all our Marvel money on Guardians 2 that year,
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I enjoyed this. It definitely feels like the kind of movie where it fits in well with a home viewing.
Yes, it really does. This is not the movie that you would need to see in theaters.
Right. So, anyway, I think that's... What's that?
I think Ocean's 11, that one works in theaters better than this one would.
Yeah. Just to hear the collective, like, oh...
Yeah.
And that one makes it, and when people laughed when, Terry opens the door and Danny's still getting beat up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I enjoyed this one a lot. So, definitely, if you have the opportunity, what did you say was number 5 on Netflix?
Yeah. Netflix is number 5 in the top 10 movies right now.
So, good. I'm hoping a lot of people are discovering this movie. So, if you haven't watched Logan Lucky yet, what are you waiting for? Are you watching us? But after that, go watch Logan Lucky. It's on Netflix.
Do stick around until the very end of the credits. It's not a post-credit scene, but there's a funny little end credit that I just noticed for the first time yesterday when I watched it.
Nice.
It's like, this is a work of fiction. Nobody was robbed during the making of this movie except you.
So it was enjoyable. So I can say that about it. So anyway, that was Logan Lucky. We want to know, have you seen Logan Lucky? It's on Netflix now, so there's no excuse. Let us know what you thought of it. Leave a comment below. Also, don't forget, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. You know what to do. This is YouTube. Everybody tells you to do this. The only thing we're not telling you to do is to sign up for NordVPN because we don't have any sponsorship.
And I don't have NordVPN, so.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't travel enough for NordVPN, nor do I care to sign up for other services.
No.
So, but anyway, we do this every week, so check our retro reviews out. I don't know. We're probably going to discuss offline what our next one's going to be. Probably another great retro movie. I recommended one a couple weeks ago in our mad dash to find Ocean's 11, so maybe we could do that one.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that.
Whole new month to play with before Halloween comes.
Yep, but Mike and I also host a podcast called Geek Salad. We are available wherever you get your podcasts. So we're early tonight because we're going to be recording in just a few minutes on our take of Power Ballads. So make sure that you check that out when it launches in a few weeks. Also, you can follow us on the socials. We are at Geek Salad Podcast on Facebook and at Geek Salad Radio on Twitter, on Blue Sky, and on Threads. If you're on Blue Sky or Threads, don't be offended. We don't do anything on there. So anyway, I think that's about it. So until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth. Nerdful. We'll talk to you later.
Take me home.